Alex Eala just hit a new level. And the numbers are getting scary. What if Alex Eala's latest Cincinnati result is far bigger than the scoreboard suggests? Because on paper, it looks simple. A 6-1, 3-0 retirement. Another win. Another round. But if you only look at the score, you are missing the real story. Because while Alex was taking control on the Cincinnati court, something much bigger was happening behind the scenes. Her ranking was moving again. And this time, it moved into territory that would have sounded almost unbelievable just months ago. Alex Eala has now reached number 18 in the live WTA rankings. A new career high. And suddenly, the conversation has changed. This is no longer about whether Alex can break into the top 30. It is no longer about whether she belongs among the best young players in the world. The question now is much more dangerous. How high can she actually go? Because Alex is no longer chasing the top 20 from the outside. She is knocking on the door. And Cincinnati may have just given us another clue about what comes next. But to understand why this moment matters so much, we have to go back. Because Alex's rise did not happen overnight. It was built through setbacks, ranking drops, massive victories, and moments when she had to prove that the previous breakthrough was not a fluke. And that is exactly what makes this story so interesting. Just a few months ago, even reaching the top 30 was being treated as a major milestone for Alex. No. She is sitting at number 18 in the live rankings. Think about that jump. At one point earlier in the year, Alex was ranked number 32. Then came Indian Wells. Her ranking climbed to a career high number 29. And then something happened that could have easily damaged her momentum. Some of her previous points expired. Her ranking dropped. For a player still trying to establish herself at the highest level, that kind of movement can be frustrating. But Alex did something important. She did not allow the ranking drop to define her. She kept playing. She kept winning. She kept pushing. And eventually, she climbed back. That is the part of the story that deserves more attention. Because rankings rarely move in a perfectly straight line. You go up. You fall. You recover. You climb again. The difference between a temporary breakthrough and a real transformation is what happens after the setback. And Alex kept coming back. Then came Washington, D.C. And suddenly, everything accelerated. Alex entered the tournament facing players who could expose any weakness. She defeated tough opposition, including Qinwen Zheng and defending champion Leylah Fernandez, and continued all the way to the final. Then came the biggest challenge. Jessica Pegula, the top seed. The kind of opponent who represents exactly where Alex wants to go. And Alex did not simply survive the tournament. She won it. Her first WTA Tour level singles title. 500 ranking points. And a historic achievement for Philippine tennis. Alex became the first Filipina to win a WTA Tour level singles title. That changes the conversation. Because winning a title tells the tennis world something rankings alone cannot. It says this player can finish. She can handle the pressure of the final. She can survive multiple rounds. She can defeat quality opposition. And when the opportunity arrives, she can take it. That Washington title did not magically create Alex's rise. It accelerated something that had already been building. And then came Cincinnati. This is where the pressure became different. Because Alex was no longer arriving as an unknown player hoping to surprise somebody. The tennis world already knew her name. Her opponents already knew what she could do. The scouting reports were different. The expectations were different. And perhaps most importantly, Alex was different. When a player is an underdog, there is freedom. Nobody expects much. But once you become a threat, every opponent prepares for you. That is a completely different world. And Alex walked into Cincinnati knowing that. The tournament itself was massive. A WTA 1000 event. More ranking points. More pressure. More elite players. And less room for mistakes. Yet Alex began her campaign with the confidence of someone who believed she belonged there. Because she did. As a seeded player, Alex received a first-round bye. Then came Elena Gabriela Ruse. And suddenly, there was another layer to the story. The two had history. They had met back in 2020 during US Open qualifying. Alex lost that match. Years later, they were standing across the net again. But this time, everything had changed. Alex was no longer the teenager trying to break through. She was now a rising top 20 player. And she played like it. From the opening stages, Alex was aggressive. She did not sit back and wait for Ruse to make mistakes. She attacked. She dictated. She controlled the tempo. And before long, the scoreboard told the story. 6-1. Alex had taken the opening set. But this is where people can misunderstand what happened next. Because the final score says 6-1, 3-0, retirement. Someone could look at that and say, it's only a retirement. But that misses the important part. Before Ruse retired, Alex had already created the advantage. She had already taken the first set 6-1. She had already built a 3-0 lead in the second. She was already in control. Then the injury forced Ruse to stop. So yes, the match ended by retirement. But the performance before the retirement still matters. Alex was not desperately hanging on when the match ended. She was leading. She was attacking. She was dictating. And she was putting pressure on her opponent. That distinction matters. Because this is what Alex's tennis is beginning to look like. She is not waiting for opportunities anymore. She is creating them. She is not simply hoping that an elite opponent has a bad day. She is making that opponent deal with her. And that is a major psychological shift. There is a huge difference between believing you can beat a top 20 player and making a top 20 player feel that they have to solve you. Alex is starting to create that feeling. And once a player reaches that stage, rankings can move very quickly. Which brings us to the number everyone is talking about. Before the Cincinnati match, Alex was sitting around number 20 in the live rankings. Then the movement continued. Number 18. 2 positions higher. A new career high. And suddenly, the top 15 does not look impossibly far away. But there is something important you need to understand. The live ranking is not the same thing as the official weekly WTA ranking. Live rankings are essentially a running projection based on results and the changing point totals during the tournament cycle. The official rankings are updated after the full ranking week is completed. So number 18 in the live rankings does not automatically mean Alex is officially number 18 at this exact moment. But that does not make the number meaningless. Quite the opposite. Because the number tells us something extremely important. The direction is up. And the direction is what matters. Look at the journey. Number 32. Then number 29. A ranking drop. A recovery. Top 30 again. Then the Washington breakthrough. Top 20. And now, number 18 in the live rankings. That is not a straight line. And it was never supposed to be. Real development is messy. There are losses. There are injuries. There are ranking points that expire. There are tournaments where nothing works. And there are weeks where everything suddenly clicks. The question is not whether Alex will ever fall again. She probably will. Every player does. The real question is, what does she do when she falls? And so far, the answer has been clear. She climbs again. Then there is Wimbledon. And this is where the entire perception of Alex changed again. Because Wimbledon was not just another tournament on the schedule. Alex defeated defending champion and world number 3 Iga Swiatek. A Filipina player who had once been fighting simply to get opportunities at the biggest tournaments had now defeated the defending champion at Wimbledon. And Alex went all the way to the 4th round. The second week. A historic achievement for Philippine tennis. It was the first time a Filipina player reached the second week of a Grand Slam singles tournament in the Open era. Alex eventually lost to Jasmine Paolini. But by then, the damage had already been done. The tennis world had seen enough. Alex was no longer simply an interesting young player from the Philippines. She had become a genuine threat on one of tennis's biggest stages. And that Wimbledon run gave her something that cannot be measured by ranking points alone. Belief. Think about what happens psychologically after you defeat someone like Iga Swiatek. You can no longer tell yourself, maybe I belong at this level. Because you have evidence. You have already done it. You have already stood on the biggest stage. You have already faced one of the best players in the world. And you won. That changes how you walk onto the next court. It changes how you respond when you fall behind. It changes how you handle pressure. And it changes how your opponents see you. That is why Cincinnati matters. Because Alex did not arrive in Cincinnati trying to prove she could compete with elite players. She arrived having already proved it. Now she is trying to prove something even harder. That she can do it consistently. And consistency is the real story behind this ranking rise. One great week can happen. A surprise victory can happen. An upset can happen. But when the big results start appearing again and again, the word fluke becomes harder and harder to use. Washington, Wimbledon, Cincinnati, top-level victories, deep tournament runs, and now a career-high live ranking. That is not one isolated moment. That is a pattern. And patterns are what tennis analysts pay attention to. Because a player's ranking tells you where they are. But their trajectory can tell you where they might be going. And Alex's trajectory is becoming extremely difficult to ignore. Now look at her age. Alex is only 21. At 21, she already has a WTA 500 title. She has victories against elite opposition. She has reached the second week of Wimbledon. She has beaten a defending Grand Slam champion. She has climbed from outside the top 30 to the top 20. And now the live rankings have pushed her to number 18. That is why the conversation has changed. Nobody needs to ask anymore, can Alex make the top 20? Because she is already there. The question is now, can she make the top 15? And after that, the top 10. That does not mean top 10 is guaranteed. It is not. Tennis does not work that way. One bad stretch can change everything. The competition is brutal. The margins are tiny. And every player inside the top 20 is capable of beating another. But here is what has changed. A top 10 future is no longer some ridiculous fantasy. It has become a legitimate possibility worth discussing. And that is a massive difference. Because there is another reason Alex's rise is so fascinating. She is changing the perception of what Philippine tennis can produce. For years, the Philippines has been overwhelmingly associated with basketball. But Alex is creating a different kind of sporting attention. Every ranking update means something. Every major victory becomes a national story. Every big opponent becomes another opportunity to put Philippine tennis on the global stage. And now the rest of the tennis world is starting to notice. This is no longer simply about one player winning matches. It is about a player creating a new expectation. When Alex walks onto the court now, the question is not, can she compete? It is, how far can she go? That is a completely different level of expectation. And that brings us back to Cincinnati. Because the tournament is not finished just because Alex has reached this new live ranking. In fact, this is where the story gets even more interesting. A WTA 1000 tournament offers significantly more ranking points as the player advances. Every additional win can change the equation. Every round can move the rankings. And as Alex gets closer to the top 15, the margins become even more important. One victory can create a new career high. Another can push her closer to the next barrier. And suddenly, a ranking number that once seemed distant starts appearing directly in front of her. This is how a climb becomes a chase. First, you chase the top 30. Then you chase the top 20. Then you look at number 15. And eventually, you start looking at the players inside the top 10. But here is the biggest warning. Do not expect Alex's ranking to rise every single week. That is not realistic. She will lose matches. She will have difficult draws. She will face players who are better on a particular day. Her points will expire. Her ranking will fluctuate. And some weeks may look like setbacks. That does not automatically mean the trajectory has changed. The real measurement is what happens over time. And over time, Alex has continued moving forward. That is the story. Not perfection. Progress. Not an uninterrupted climb. Recovery. Not one miracle victory. Repeated evidence. And that is exactly why this moment feels different. Just imagine the timeline. Earlier in the year, number 32. Then, number 29. A setback. A comeback. Then, top 20. Washington title. Wimbledon second week. Victory over IGA Swiatek. Cincinnati. And now, number 18 in the live rankings. The numbers tell one story, but the sequence tells another. The sequence tells us that Alex keeps finding another level. And that is perhaps the most dangerous thing about her rise. Because we still do not know where the ceiling is. Maybe it is top 15. Maybe it is top 10. Maybe one day, the conversation goes even further. But right now, nobody can honestly say the ceiling is obvious. And that is because Alex keeps doing something that forces everyone to update their expectations. First, she looked like a promising player. Then she looked